Greetings from the right coast. This is Mad Shad. What are we going to talk about today? Well, there's a lot going on nowadays, isn't there? Well, something, just a little something. We had a bombing in Nashville. Some RV blew up. Basically, it damaged 41 businesses, restaurants, and bars. And some minor damage to an AT&T building, which was bomb-proof, built to withstand bombs. I don't know. Been to Nashville. I'm from West Tennessee, so yeah, I've been to Nashville a few times. Even when I was in the Marine Corps, I went to Nashville. You visit friends and go here and there, and go see everybody, check it out. That's where I met Peyton Manning in an ATM machine line, of all places. It's back in the 90s. But yeah, this area, it's like the historic district. It's where everybody goes and parties and drinks and eats, and there's some good food there. But basically, this whole area just got blasted. For why? For what? Nobody really knows. It was odd that an RV was just sitting there. It was odd that at 5:30 they started shooting. Somebody started shooting. And then the cops showed up and seen this RV. And the RV was blaring out a message. Evacuate now. It had a timer on it. And then, 15 minutes later, at 6:30, it blew up. It looks to me like a propane, like it's just full of propane, and they detonated it somehow. It's possible. I don't know. People talk about, whoa, oh my God, it was a missile, and no, I don't think that was a missile. You ever seen propane tanks go up, especially if there's a fire ignition source? That's high pressure in those things. I can only speculate at this moment, but maybe they had some big ones, maybe they had a bunch of small ones, and when you puncture one of those things, that's a lot of PSI coming out of there, and that PSI is coming and shooting out. I think that's what that string of fire that we seen coming out of there, I think that's what that was, is a high pressured propane tank that didn't explode, that was shooting this propane out in the air, that was on fire, and it shot up like 200 feet. It'll do that. A big, like one of those propane tank trucks, that's enough to level a whole city. But there's so much that they do to that tank to ensure that it doesn't happen that way. It's, for one, it's under massive amount of pressure. I mean, like, hundreds of thousands of PSI. And so that tank has to be, you ain't gonna blow up one of those tanks. Even if you shoot it full of incendiary rounds, or you pop it with some kind of explosive, it's not gonna, but it has the capability to do some major damage. The thing about propane is it explodes, boom! It's a big concussion blast, there's a lot of fire, and it's done. So, I truly believe that's what happened. I didn't see any C4 or anything of that nature used. No real evidence. There's a lot of discoloration there. That kind of leads me to believe that that could have been the accelerant, the propane being the propellant, and the explosive, the main explosive. I mean, it's so easy to make bombs nowadays. I mean, I'm not going to give you a tutorial or anything, nor do I really want to fuck with that shit. I messed with det cord and C4 and dynamite, before, but and propane. Tennessee, we like to blow things up. But hey, hats off to the to the police, man, the 6 police, I think it was, that took 15 minutes. They went around that area and evacuated everybody. Get the hell out now. I mean, they saved a lot of lives. Those guys, way to go, Leos. You know, yeah. Good on you, man. Get some. Cheers. They saved some lives. And the damage, it wasn't like a fucking crater. It was just like a big boom. And things got moved, and, you know, structurally, windows got popped. Hell, windows got popped, you know, nearly a mile down the road from, you know, from the concussion blast and the shrapnel and all that. Kind of tells you what our stuff is made out of. You know, but those guys, man, those Leos, man, they really put in the work there. They are definitely worth their weight in salt. Definitely. So yeah, the time has come and went. Christmas is over. Still cold. Still gonna be cold. Still a winter. I suggest that we hang out and relax and party. Yeah. I'm actually going to a after Christmas party after this. Just with a few friends, just because they all wanted to, you know, have Christmas with their families, and then afterwards is the friends, you know, and kind of it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Always bring something to a party. I don't care what it is. I don't care, you know, what they say. Oh, just come on in. Just, you know, bring yourself. No, bring something. Always bring something. Always. That is only the hospitable thing to do. If somebody is giving you hospitality, you must, you know, return something at least. You know, don't walk in there empty-handed and you know, eat all the food and drink all the beer. Yeah, like your cousin Paulie, yeah? Hey, you's gonna drink that beers? Yeah. Not worth his weight in salt. So, speaking of which, salt. Salt used to be used as food, or as currency. Salt is very important. We use salt to taste. Every ingredient uses just salt to taste, a pinch of salt. We know that salt is in most foods that we eat, that we buy. Salt is everywhere. And there's different kinds of salts. It's great. You got your iodized salt, you got your Mediterranean salt, you got your Mediterranean sea salt, you got your Himalayan pink salt, you got your bath salts. Don't mess with that zombie shit. There's so much kind of salts out there, you know, and it's great. We need salt to survive. Even if the doctor says stay away from salt, you got high blood pressure, guess what? You need salt, or you're gonna die. Salt has a funny way of healing you. You need it to produce your electrolytes. You need it for digestion. Your body, your cells actually need it for their metabolic processes. Salt, your brain, your eyes, your skin, the movement of water in your body, water and potassium and all that stuff, all requires salt. And you gotta have it. I mean, what is it? Potassium chloride? Or no, sodium chloride. Yeah, sodium chloride is salt. That's the actual chemical means. And so what you buy at the store with that iodized salt, it's sodium chloride. They take sodium and chloride, mix the two together, and make sodium chloride. Sodium being very dangerous, and chloride being very dangerous. But they make sodium chloride. So, that's what I'm going to talk about. Salt. what I have here, starting off, this is your basic, simple iodized sea salt, iodized salt. It's great stuff. You can use it for just about anything. You can use it in canning. You can use it in all your recipes. You can use it to freaking melt ice on the ground. It's cheap. It's everywhere. It's amazing. They usually they make this stuff in a lab using sodium and chloride. This stuff right here is only probably good for about a year. You know, it's a desiccant. It's a hell of a desiccant. It will cake up and pull in all the moisture and all the stuff around it, all the impurities. It has a binding to it, and this stuff good for a year, but it's good to have. Yeah. Mediterranean sea salt. I don't know how they say Mediterranean. It's Mediterranean sea salt. What they basically do is they mine this stuff, or they produce it out of the ocean through a distillation process, or they literally dig it out of the freaking side of that mountain, and it will never go bad, ever. It's salt. The only thing you have to guard against is moisture soaking it in. Now this really doesn't have a lot of, it's just salt. There might be some trace minerals in there, but not a lot, you know, because it's basically distilled sea salt, and they bake all the impurities out of it. After they distill it, then they bake the salt to kill all the other stuff, you know, or debris and stuff like that. But never goes bad, and it's great. It tastes totally different than your iodized crap over there. Very good stuff. Now, another salt, which is my favorite, is Himalayan pink salt, which oddly enough, majority of it comes from Argentina, or Africa, or the Dead Sea. Himalayas, yeah, they got a lot of these places were underwater for millions of years. The ocean, the Himalayas was under ocean millions of years ago. And so that salt, that sediment settled down into areas, and when you dig into the ground, you find this stuff, and this stuff is loaded with all kinds of minerals and good stuff that's good for you. If you do not have salt, you will die. If your body does not have salt, you will die. It is the basis of Gatorade, that potassium and some sugar. You can actually make Gatorade with salt, sugar, maybe some apple cider vinegar. I don't know. Look it up. It's good for you. Salt. Put salt in your coffee. Yeah. Salt, actually, I love salt in hot spices. It kind of, pow, gives it that bam, yo. You know what I mean? Give your spices a little kick, you know. But this stuff, they mine it, they cut it out of big sheets and stick it on their back. They lug it on a freaking mule, a camel, and they take this shit to market. And there's been people that generations of salt miners, and they just go out there in the middle of freaking, you know, whatever, in the mountain, or in Africa, they got this huge freaking Dead Sea that they literally cut these big sheets of salt. Huge. And as much as they can carry, they take it back. Arduous and dangerous mission. Treacherous. Himalayas, you can imagine it's freaking cold. But you know, they practice their they're used to it. You know, they do the breathing and all that, so you know, that kind of breathing, that's good for you. It's part of the cold aversion therapy, which I might get into later on. There, I've been working on that. Interesting results, let me tell you. But you need salt. You need the salt. And just like the old saying is, you know, worth your weight in salt. Are you worth your weight in salt? Can you carry your own? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the skill? Do you have the the intestinal fortitude, the mental toughness. Are you like salt? And yeah, I mean, what's that movie that comes to mind with Angelina Jolie, Salt? I think she put on a few pounds for that movie, didn't she? Anyway, I don't know. I didn't get the point of that movie. Whatever. But you need your salt and get it. It's relatively easy to get. Now it is. You can imagine back in the day, there was a lot that goes into getting salt. Like I said, these people living in the villages, living in their mud huts, and they got a camel, and they work for less than pennies on a dime for this salt. But they need it, and they know the rest of the world needs it, so they get it, and you know, we get it packaged in these little pretty little bottles. Yeah, these nice little plastic dead dinosaur bottles. And we put it on our freaking table. But this stuff, get salt. Get like a year's worth of salt. And just a pinch of salt in your food, you know, a day. Put it in some water. If you take salt and warm water and gargle it, it will alleviate the bad tooth. It'll kill all the bacteria in your mouth. Another trick which I learned was minced garlic. Dip it. If you got a little messed up tooth, put that minced garlic in there and just keep it in there all day. Yeah, you'll smell like garlic all day long, but it's guaranteed vampires will stay the fuck away from you. Definitely, and everybody else as well. So, but it will numb the pain, and it will kill all the bacteria, which and inflammation, which creates that. So with salt, same thing. A lot of salts, Epsom salts. Epsom salts are used to, calm the body down and relieve any kind of aches and pains and rashes in your body, on and on your skin. And salt was used to bleach things. Salt was used to clean a lot of stuff. You can take salt and you got a greasy pan. Pour some salt in there and a rag and just rub it, and it will come right the fuck off. No lie. I do my cast iron skillets that way. I'll clean them with salt, and then I'll go back and grease them. But if I had something very nasty in there that I was cooking and it just won't come off, I use salt. Salt and butter. Salt and butter. Butter is another necessity that you need. You need that. You need cholesterol. You need it. Your brain needs it. Your body needs it. Your joints need it. You need cholesterol. Don't listen to the damn doctors. Oh, you're gonna die. Your cholesterol's too high. No, that's good. That's very good. If you seen how active I was, you'd be like, okay, fuck. I smoke. I drink. I don't have heart problems. I don't know. Maybe I'm one of those guys. It's gonna be like 90 years old, eating bacon and swigging whiskey. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. I thought I was gonna die when I turned 30, but hey, here I am, 46. Yeah, things are failing, but salt, very important. Use salt. Salt is good for you. Make sure it's in your preps. Make sure it's in your preps. I use pink Himalayan salt all the time. I got a little grinder. And I just put it in there and I just grind that stuff up into everything. Oh man. Salted butter toast, salted, you name it, salt. There's an ingredient, there's salt in there. There's a pinch of salt in there somewhere. And I like the taste of salt. I like savory better than I do sweet. So even sweets, I'll put salt in there. Just to give it that little taste. But yeah, are you worth your weight in salt? Think about that. Think about who is not worth their weight in salt. You gotta be, you gotta think like that. But remember, no man is so no fool is so useful that he's good for nothing. But no man is good for nothing. So no fool is good for nothing. Anyway, yeah. Salt. Good stuff. Anyway, we know that things are happening, and we know that things are getting interesting. We know that. We who knows what this Nashville thing is? Who knows? We're not going to find out for quite some time, unless somebody takes credit for it. And you never know about that either. Perception is deception. You know, believe half of what you see and nothing of what you hear. You know, it is what it is. No, nothing is what it seems. So, with that being said, I stand by on that, because obviously this was some kind of well orchestrated. Maybe I still don't see the point of it, but it didn't really cause a lot of fear. I mean, I'm not very fearful about it. It's just a little bomb. Hundreds of miles away from me. But, you know, that's the thing is people are going to act a fool. They are straight up going to act a fool. And you got to let them. You got to let them, because they're going to burn themselves out. Or they're going to show their true colors. Or they're going to show you their true intent. Yeah. And with that being said, I can stand back and watch and be surreptitious in my movements around them. Or through them. Or away from them. Chances are away from them. Most of us want to do that. But we know that something's coming. We know that something is going to happen. And this is how it happens. It happens in small little increments. Small little things that happen. And they usually lead up to this huge big thing. The analogy of boiling the frog. You know, you do it slowly, the frog doesn't know it's being boiled. It actually relaxes and boils itself to death. You throw it in boiling hot water, it will quickly jump the fuck out. So, yeah. And that's what we're seeing. This bomb is like a little spice in there. Pow! A little turning up of the temperature. In this cold, dark winter. I have coffee. And rum. Yeah. So, it's good to have an edge in life. I keep wanting to look over here, but the camera's right there. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's good to have an edge in life. My little case. I love this thing. I can whittle some shit with this. Salt in the wounds. Put salt in your wounds. Yeah, it burns and stings like hell, but they used to do that shit to kill the infection. Yeah, salt was a delivery system in a lot of medicines. Snake oil sale has been used to use a lot of it. That and snake oil. Or they would just straight up use opium. Opium juice. Drink this. What is it called? Laudanum? Yeah. But, yeah. I think Narcan has a lot of salt in it. I don't know. It's salt. So, salt. Salt the roads. To get rid of that ice. Salt never goes bad. Like I said, you just got to be careful of allowing humidity and moisture to get to it. Allowing the outside humidity and moisture to basically just, it cakes up, and you can just sift it in a pan. You know, turn it on low and sift it in a pan, and your salt is good. Or let it air out, or you can put one of those little desiccant packets, little oxygen eaters in there, I guess, moisture things. But it itself is a desiccant. I just wanted to talk about salt and Nashville bombings. I don't know. we know that things have changed, and we know that people are desperate to do something. Oh, we gotta do something. Maybe this is what this guy thought. I gotta do something. Yeah, I'm gonna buy me a RV and fill it full of propane and explode it. At least he was nice enough to put a little thing out there that said, please, evacuate the area. That's nice of him. Yeah, they'll get down to the bottom of it and they'll figure it out. Or they'll feed us a line of shit. I don't know, whatever. We just don't know much. That's the thing about bombers. And who knows? Maybe we'll see more of this. Maybe we won't. It's a guerrilla warfare tactic. I mean, it's definitely a terrorist attack. But we're just so just desensitized now. We don't give a fuck. We've got Corona. The Corona, my Corona. Boom, 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 boom. My Corona. I don't know. It's whatever. I don't know. Salt. Get it. It's tasty. It's good for you. So I'm going to end it there. This is Mad Shad signing off.